Hi there, students. Maunder or meander? Okay, these are both verbs, and they both talk about a sinuous movement, moving backwards and forwards. But normally we use maunder to mean either to wander aimlessly. So, for example, when you go to visit a new city on holiday, very often you maunder through the streets, seeing what you find. And maunder also we use to talk about speaking, where you speak in a rambling, rather incoherent manner. What you're talking about goes one way and another and another. Meander is a winding path backwards and forwards, and we very, very often use meander to talk about the path of a river. So the river meandered down the valley, or it meandered across the plain. It's sinuous, it moves backwards and forwards like a snake. Both words talk about a lack of direction, about curving here and there. But I think maunder is much more commonly used about a conversation or your thought, where you're rambling. Whereas meander is much more about a physical movement. So I stopped and chatted to him for half an hour, and we maundered through many different subjects. Whereas meander, the road meandered across the mountains, going backwards and forwards. So to maunder, to wander slowly and idly, or to speak in a rambling way. He maundered on about his day. Meander, to follow a winding, a circuitous path like a river. You can use meander, his thoughts meandered, but maunder is probably a better word. A winding journey, the river meanders across the plain. Maunder, aimless speech or movement. Meander, a winding course. The lecturer maundered during the speech that he gave. The hikers meandered through the woods. So, to maunder, to speak or mutter in a rambling, foolish, not a clear way. There's not a lot of clear logic. To move in a dreamy, vague, aimless manner. So maunder can be used for both physical movement and rambling speech, but maunder is particularly good for talking about at length about something without any following thread. He maundered about his past experiences. Meander is more about moving, a snake-like course backwards and forwards, a sinuous movement, to wander aimlessly, to move backwards and forwards, again also to ramble in speech. It's commonly used for both a physical movement and the winding path of a road or river. The path meanders through the forest. So use meander for winding paths, or a general where you don't have a straight line from A to B. And maunder when the focus is on speaking in a confused way, something that doesn't have any set pattern. not speaking very clearly. So I hope I'm not maundering. And meander backwards and forwards. The speaker maundered on for an hour, never making a clear point. He maundered about the town on his day off, but I would prefer to use meander here. The river meanders on its way to the sea. We meandered through the city streets. His thoughts meandered as he tried to focus on his work. Again, in this last one, I think maundered would be better. But notice, this is the problem. The two words overlap completely. So let's see. Maunder comes from an old word maund, to beg, to ask for money. And I have a feeling this is the rambling speech of somebody begging for money. To maunder, to prattle, to speak in a disorganized way. And then meander comes from from Latin, meander, from ancient Greek meandros, which is a river in Turkey, the river Meander. And I guess the river Meander meanders. So to meander, a path which goes backwards and forwards. So she continued to maunder on about her problems. The speaker would maunder during his speeches, losing his train of thought. They would maunder for hours about various topics. She tends to maunder when she's nervous. I love to meander through the park and admire the flowers. The river meanders through the countryside. I took a meandering stroll across the beach. We meandered through the city streets, exploring the unique architecture. So meander and maunder. I think I'm going to give meander maybe a 6 in formality, use anywhere. Maunder, I think I would give a 6.5 or even a 7 in formality, use in a semi-formal conversation, semi-formal writing, or something more formal. So, maunder versus meander. Bye for now.